James Cameron spoke with The Guardian and he said that he felt that Wonder Woman was a step back for women. Now the director of Wonder Woman, Patty Jenkins, has spoken up and she retorts, "Stay in your lane." This is what went down. This is the quote from James Cameron. "All the self-congratulatory back-patting Hollywood's been doing over Wonder Woman has been so misguided. She's an objectified icon and it's just male Hollywood doing the same old thing. I'm not saying I didn't like the movie, but to me it's a step backwards. Sarah Connor was not a beauty icon. She was strong, she was troubled, she was a terrible mother, and she earned the respect of the audience through pure grit. And to me, the benefit of characters like Sarah is so obvious. I mean, half the audience is female." Now, he is of course referring to the beloved character Sarah Connor from the Terminator franchise, one of my first girl crushes. She is badass. Let's not take anything away from Sarah Connor. Now, this is what Patty Jenkins said on Twitter. She responded to James Cameron's remarks. "James Cameron's inability to understand what Wonder Woman is or stands for to women all over the world is unsurprising, as though he is a great filmmaker. He is not a woman. Strong women are great. His praise of my film Monster and our portrayal of strong yet damaged woman was so appreciated, but if women have to always be hard, tough, and troubled to be strong, and we aren't free to be multidimensional or celebrate an icon of women everywhere because she is attractive and loving, then we haven't come very far, have we? I believe women can and should be everything, just like male lead characters should be. There is no right and wrong kind of powerful woman, and the massive female audience who made the film a hit it is can surely choose and judge their own icons of progress." So she's basically saying don't reduce Wonder Woman to her looks alone, and whether or not she should be taken seriously based off of that. Did you guys agree with what she said? Did you agree with what James Cameron said? Do you think he was sort of stepping out of his lane here?
It would be easier to take what James Cameron said seriously if it wasn't paraphrased as, "But what I did was good. Look at my thing." If he mentioned something else in cinema besides his own creation, essentially, then I would be able to look, with more impartiality about this. That's what kind of takes it down from me.
And it's also a little strange that he doesn't see that Sarah Connor is badass and so is Wonder Woman. Their presentation outwardly and the struggles that they both went through and how it was portrayed, they're not mutually exclusive. You can have both badass women in this world. That pluralism is actually, I think, what makes both movies great, is that you can see all the wonderful representation of women.
Yeah.
Although shout out to him liking the movie Monster, because that was about Eileen Wuornos and that was also an awesome movie. But what were your thoughts on this?
I think I stopped listening when he said step back for women. Like, women are not a monolith. There are many women, right? So when you say one movie sets women back, like, like policies are setting women back, not movies, like not Wonder Woman. So that was just ignorant. I think it's also ignorant to say that somehow Sarah Connor's grit allowed her access into appropriate womanhood, and somehow Wonder Woman's attractiveness somehow distances her from a type of appropriate womanhood or from being a heroine. And I think it's not having Wonder Woman, it's having Wonder Woman, Sarah Connor, having a wide range of representations of different kinds of women, because again, there are multiple women that women can look and relate to. I think that's
Yeah, and it just seems like that's not what he was really grasping.
Right.
That we actually do need both to serve the best interests of furthering progress. We need every and all sorts of representations of women. And it seems like, honestly, like people are saying that Patty Jenkins clapped back because it's nice clickbait, but really she was just sort of saying, no, we need everything, and let's pass the mic here, James Cameron.
Yeah, and there's a whole segment of the movie where there's no men at all, which was my favorite part of the movie, right? Where it's just a whole group of women existing outside of the male gaze, outside of men in general. So it's like, did you watch the movie? So
the movie's not that good. It's just so much better than Suicide Squad.
Well, everything is.
What they did, well, that's the thing is, I don't know, there's something, if you're talking about what a big hit the movie Wonder Woman is, that's not necessarily, like Suicide Squad was a hit, it was terrible. So how much money it makes kind of takes away from it. I will say that the accomplishment I feel like they made in Wonder Woman was having like super duper charming and impossibly attractive Gal Gadot alongside super duper charming and impossibly attractive Chris Pine. I don't think Wonder Woman, if you go back and watch that movie where the bad guy just kind of comes out of nowhere, you're gonna see like this triumphant feminism as much. But I do think that James Cameron is wrong in saying you can only essentially win with feminism by having like someone like Sarah Connor. I agree with your things there. I just don't think that Wonder Woman is as much of a feminist triumph as people would say.
I think the argument isn't about it being a feminist, at least my argument isn't about it being a feminist triumph. It's just, was it a good movie that had a woman as a lead?
Yeah.
Like, you know?
They should do more Wonder Woman
more
type.
of those, right. And I think because there's only one, then we want to put it in this position where it's like, what are the feminist overtones? You know?
It gets totally
it's too much pressure, yeah.
Help us build independent media together. TYTnetwork.com/join.